Every step you take, every grandchild you lift, every morning you rise to greet the day, it all starts with the silent heroes of your body, your bones and joints. But what if you could do more than just hope they stay strong? What if you could give them exactly what they need to thrive? In the next hour, we're not simply listing beneficial foods. We are building your complete blueprint for bone and joint vitality for decades to come. Let's begin immediately. Do you ever feel that morning stiffness, that little ache that wasn't there last year? We often dismiss this discomfort as inevitable aging, but what if something common in your own kitchen is quietly making things worse? The good news is, you hold the power to change this trajectory, starting with your very next meal. We're going to uncover 5 pervasive bone blockers that sabotage your strength, and we will reveal the powerful, delicious foods to eat instead. Get ready. You might be genuinely surprised by number 3. Understanding this change is crucial. Our skeletal structure is not fixed. Our bones are living tissue, constantly undergoing remodeling. They are constantly being broken down by osteoclasts and rebuilt by osteoblasts. After 50, this breakdown can sometimes outpace the rebuilding. Simultaneously, our joints rely on pristine cushioning and ample fluid, both of which are highly vulnerable to the wear and tear of chronic inflammation. The foods we eat either provide the essential fuel for robust rebuilding, or they act as powerful inhibitors, throwing sand into the smooth gears of repair. Making specific, targeted dietary tweaks is the easiest, most accessible way to protect your ability to move comfortably and maintain independence long into the future. That is precisely our focus today. If you find these evidence-based insights helpful and empowering, please tap the like button. This small action helps us reach more adults who need this critical nutritional knowledge. If you want more simple, evidence-based guides to better health after 55, subscribe and tap the notification bell. Let's dive into the first bone blocker. This ingredient is found in nearly every processed food product, and its damaging influence goes far beyond simply affecting your waistline. Blocker 1, the hidden inflammation factory, excess sugar. We are focusing on asterisk added sugars, the refined white stuff, the concentrated syrups, and all the various forms of sugar cleverly hidden within processed snacks, sauces, and baked goods. While small amounts of natural sweetness are certainly permissible, chronic, high consumption of refined sugar is a major, undeniable problem for joint health. Here is the simple, direct science behind the damage. When you consistently consume too much sugar, it triggers systemic inflammatory responses throughout your body. Inflammation is your immune system's natural process for healing injury, but if that response runs constantly, it begins to attack healthy tissues. Think of chronic inflammation as an internal, low-grade fire. This persistent fire actively damages the collagen and cartilage that cushion your joints. When that precious cushioning wears thin, you inevitably experience stiffness, reduced flexibility, and pain. Your joints start rubbing together under stress. But the destructive effect of sugar does not stop at joints. Excessive amounts also indirectly harm your bones. High sugar intake does not leach times calcium directly, but chronic overconsumption significantly interferes with the efficient absorption of key bone minerals, especially magnesium and calcium, often forcing your kidneys to excrete them prematurely. Furthermore, choosing high-sugar foods invariably means you are displacing nutrient-dense choices, If you grab a highly sweetened pastry instead of a piece of fruit, you miss out on fiber, vitamins, and the essential minerals your bones desperately need. This is a critical process known as nutrient displacement. A key marker of this sugar-fueled damage involves the formation of advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. This toxic process occurs when excess sugars combine with fats or proteins in the bloodstream. AGEs are structural destroyers. They make the collagen matrix of your bones brittle, rigid, and significantly less flexible. We want our bones to be incredibly strong, but they must also retain some pliancy, like a healthy, young sapling, not dry, snapped-off kindling. This fragility makes them far more susceptible to sudden fractures. So, how do we tackle this ubiquitous problem? We need a naturally sweet substitute that actively supports robust bone health, instead of quietly sabotaging it. What if the solution to a brittle skeleton is already hiding in your dried fruit bowl? The swap for Bone Blocker 1, natural, fiber-rich sweetness. Instead of relying on processed sugars, we introduce the secret weapon of the humble prune. Yes, simple dried prunes are an absolute powerhouse. Prunes are incredibly nutrient-dense and boast a low glycemic index, meaning they release energy slowly and do not cause the harmful blood sugar spikes associated with refined sugar. They are also packed with prebiotic fiber, which is vital for a healthy gut biome, and a well-functioning gut is fundamentally crucial for absorbing key bone minerals. The real magic of the prune, however, lies in its high concentration of specific minerals and powerful compounds, including significant amounts of potassium, magnesium, and vitamin K. Research has consistently demonstrated that consuming just a few prunes daily is linked to measurable reductions in bone turnover markers. This means they effectively help slow down the rate at which your body breaks down old bone. For older adults, this slowing effect is an absolutely massive, easy-to-achieve benefit. How do you incorporate prunes without just eating a handful? Simple. Dice them finely and add them to your morning oatmeal or swirl them into Greek yogurt. Blend just 2 or 3 into a smoothie for natural sweetness. For a delicious bone-building snack, mix them with a small handful of raw walnuts and a dash of cinnamon. You gain the satisfying sweetness you crave, plus a complex array of vital protective nutrients. Remember that sweetened sodas, store-bought juices, and flavored coffees are often the largest source of added sugar. Swap those caloric-sweetened beverages for water infused with fresh berries. Berries contain far less sugar but are bursting with antioxidants, which actively fight the systemic inflammation that specifically attacks your joints. Now let's transition to blocker number 2. This ingredient is known for making you thirsty, but its true danger is that it actively causes your body to shed valuable calcium. Blocker 2, the silent calcium thief, excess sodium. This blocker is more insidious than just the salt shaker on your kitchen table. It is the immense load of sodium hidden inside pre-packaged meals, concentrated canned soups, frozen ready-to-eat entrees, and almost all fast food. Sodium is undoubtedly essential for nerve signaling and muscle function, but the typical Western diet delivers a shocking amount, far exceeding healthy limits. When your blood sodium levels rise consistently, your kidneys must work overtime to flush the excess mineral out of your system. Here is the critical, direct link. As the kidneys excrete sodium to maintain balance, they frequently drag valuable calcium with them. Every time you consume a high-sodium meal, you are essentially causing your body to flush valuable calcium out before it can be efficiently deposited into your bones. Imagine your bones as a long-term savings account. Consistent high-sodium intake acts like a recurring weekly service fee being deducted from your balance. Over years, those seemingly small losses accumulate into a significant, dangerous mineral deficit. This process is particularly detrimental for adults over 50 who already face a higher intrinsic risk of calcium deficiency and age-related bone loss. Furthermore, many high-sodium foods are heavily processed and therefore stripped of crucial bone-supporting nutrients like potassium and magnesium. It's a devastating double whammy. You are actively losing calcium while simultaneously failing to replace it with other vital minerals required for structural integrity. If you currently rely on convenience foods, even those bearing labels that claim healthy, you must rigorously check the sodium content. A single serving of a frozen dinner can easily contain half of your entire daily recommended sodium limit. This widespread mistake is common but remarkably simple to correct. If sodium is stealing your calcium, what simple backyard mineral fights back and protects your bone savings? The swap for bone blocker 2, potassium, and flavor enhancers. The crucial strategy for countering the calcium leaching effects of sodium is twofold. Significantly increase your potassium intake and judiciously use natural, savory flavor enhancers. Potassium is sodium's chemical counterpart. It helps your body achieve a perfect, balanced mineral homeostasis, protecting your bones by lowering internal acid load and substantially reducing the amount of calcium excreted through urine. Potassium-rich foods are highly accessible. Bananas, sweet potatoes, dark spinach, and white beans are excellent, easy sources. Aim to include these sources every single day. A simply baked sweet potato served alongside dinner, for example, is a tremendous source of potassium and magnesium. But how do you handle the flavor void when you actively reduce salt? Flavor is not synonymous with sodium. Flavor is unlocked through spices and fresh herbs. Instead of seasoning a soup base with salt, experiment with a blend of dried garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, and dried thyme. For seasoning chicken, fish, or vegetable dishes, use lemon juice, coarse black pepper, fresh dill, and smoked paprika. These herbs are naturally rich in antioxidants, and some, like fresh parsley, even deliver a surprising boost of vitamin K, which is essential for directing calcium precisely where it needs to go, into the bones. The most powerful takeaway here is to prioritize cooking at home. Tanj as. When you prepare meals from scratch using whole ingredients, you retain complete rigorous control over the salt shaker. If you must use canned goods, always rinse them thoroughly before consumption to wash away up to 40% of the excess sodium. Make this small adjustment this week. Try adding a potassium-rich vegetable to your dinner plate every single night. We have successfully covered the first two damaging blockers and their corrective swaps. We are halfway through our list, and the next one is perhaps the most shocking and pervasive bone threat in modern diets. Are you ready to expose number 3? Blocker 3, the carbonation culprit phosphoric acid in dark sodas. This is the surprise that tends to catch most viewers off guard. We are not revisiting the sugar content in soda, which we already addressed in Blocker 1. We are talking specifically about phosphoric acid **, an ingredient used almost exclusively in dark, highly carbonated soft drinks. Why does this pose such a significant threat to your skeletal system? Phosphoric acid, an additive used to provide that tangy bite and extend shelf life, dramatically increases the overall acid load in your blood. Your body is meticulously designed to maintain a perfect, narrow pH level. When the blood becomes acutely acidic, the body immediately activates a rapid natural emergency mechanism to neutralize the excess acid. And where does the body go for the fastest, most effective mineral buffer? Your bones. Your skeletal structure stores vast amounts of calcium phosphate. The body leaches this calcium directly from your bone matrix to quickly neutralize the blood acid created by the soda. Think of it as a constant, dangerous emergency reserve being drawn down without notice. The more frequently and consistently you consume these beverages, the more minerals you borrow from your bone bank, and you rarely replace these borrowed reserves fully. Chronic consumption is linked to a measurable, concerning reduction in overall bone mineral density over time. While a single occasional soda is unlikely to cause severe damage, chronic daily consumption of dark sodas has been strongly correlated with lower bone density and a significantly increased risk of fracture, particularly in postmenopausal women. Crucially, diet sodas containing phosphoric acid are not exempt from this acid load problem, making them potentially just as harmful to your bones as their sugary counterparts. So, if soda is actively detrimental and plain tap water feels too uninteresting, what is the optimal swap to maintain high-quality hydration and fully support skeletal strength? If the bubbles in your favorite drink are actively dissolving your bone mineral density, what is the simplest, most available joint lubricant you aren't drinking enough of? The swap for Bone Blocker 3, infused water and bone-boosting brews. Consistent, high-quality hydration is arguably the simplest yet most profoundly effective action you can take for immediate joint health. Joint cartilage is composed of 70 to 80% water. If you allow yourself to become even slightly dehydrated, the cartilage loses its sponge-like consistency and its necessary flexibility, inevitably leading to increased friction, stiffness, and pain. Instead of reaching for sodas or artificially flavored drinks, transition to naturally flavored alternatives that provide valuable nutrients without stripping away minerals. Start with simple, fresh infused water. Add thick slices of cucumber, lemon, fresh ginger, or mint to a pitcher of water and let it steep. The pleasant flavor encourages you to drink significantly more without adding any sugar or damaging acid. For a powerful, scientifically backed bone-boosting brew, try green tea. Green tea is immensely rich in compounds called polyphenols and catechins, which are potent antioxidants. These compounds are strongly linked to supporting the activity of osteoblasts, the cells responsible for forming new bone, and slowing bone breakdown. Some studies even suggest that the regular consumption of green tea is associated with a measurably lower risk of osteoporosis. If you prefer chilled drinks, brew a strong batch of green tea, chill it, and add a small splash of fresh lemon juice. Another excellent swap is simple mineral or sparkling water with a squeeze of fresh lime and perhaps a small amount of calcium-fortified orange juice. These options satisfy the desire for bubbles or flavor without forcing your body to urgently steal from its essential mineral reserves. Remember this: consistent, quality hydration is the ultimate natural joint lubricant. Make sure you are mindfully sipping water throughout the entire day, not waiting until you feel severely thirsty. Blocker 4, the joint inflammer, the wrong types of fats. We must establish this clearly. Not all fats are created equal. This blocker is not about fats causing weight gain. It is specifically about which types of fat are actively promoting chronic inflammation, relentlessly damaging your joints from the inside out. We are primarily concerned with the excessive consumption of omega-6 fatty acids, which are concentrated in highly processed vegetable oils such as corn, soybean, safflower, and sunflower oil. These oils are absolutely pervasive in packaged snack foods, in nearly all fried restaurant meals, and in most commercial baked goods. In very small, balanced amounts, omega-6 is essential for life, but the contemporary diet delivers vastly too much omega-6 and dangerously little of its balancing counterpart, omega-3. This overwhelming imbalance actively fuels the inflammatory response we discussed earlier. Think of omega-6 as the accelerator for the internal inflammatory fire, and omega-3 as the effective firefighter. If your diet is dominated by accelerators, the fire rages, aggressively attacking the sensitive joint lining and cartilage. This state of chronic, low-grade inflammation driven by the wrong fats is a primary cause of joint stiffness, pain, and loss of function as we mature. Here is a simple, actionable rule. If a cooking oil is cheap, liquid at room temperature, and widely used in fast food kitchens, it is highly likely to be extremely high in inflammatory omega-6. Switching these out for better options is absolutely critical for calming those aching joints. You might be using an oil every day that turns up the volume on your joint pain. Do you know which common kitchen oil to toss out right now? # the swap for Bone Blocker 4, omega-3 powerhouses, and healthy monounsaturated fats. The solution here is refreshingly simple. Strategically flood your body with anti-inflammatory omega-3 fats and immediately switch your primary cooking oils. Omega-3 fatty acids, specifically the EPA and DHA found in fatty cold water fish, are powerful, proven anti-inflammatories. They interrupt the destructive chemical signals that lead to joint degradation. They do not merely reduce inflammation, they actively promote the healing and necessary repair of connective tissue. If your goal is fluid, relatively pain-free movement, omega-3s are entirely non-negotiable. Aim for 2 generous servings of fatty fish per week. Salmon, mackerel, trout, and sardines are excellent sources. Sardines, in particular, offer a significant bonus because they are often eaten with the soft, digestible bones intact, providing a powerful package of calcium and vitamin D alongside the essential omega-3s. If fatty fish is not your preference, excellent plant-based sources include walnuts, ground flax seeds, and chia seeds. These provide alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, which is a precursor to the active omega-3s. While the body's conversion of ALA is less efficient than getting EPA/DHA directly, these still provide valuable support. Try stirring ground flax seeds into your morning cereal or baking them into homemade bread. When cooking, make the definitive switch to high-quality extra virgin olive oil or pure avocado oil. These fats are predominantly monounsaturated, meaning they are considered neutral or actively anti-inflammatory. They provide the necessary fat and flavor for cooking without the inflammatory baggage of the processed seed oils. Take immediate action today by replacing your cheapest large bottle of vegetable oil with a higher quality extra virgin olive oil. It is a small initial investment that yields profound, lasting dividends for the health of your joints. We have arrived at our final blocker, number 5. This one is about common habits and necessary balance. It is something many of us rely on daily for a quick energy boost, but too much can seriously undermine all of our efforts. Blocker 5, the habitual overload, excessive caffeine and alcohol. Both caffeine and alcohol share a common characteristic. They are diuretics, meaning they dramatically increase your body's urine production. As we established earlier, high fluid output often leads to an increased rate of mineral excretion. Consistent, excessive consumption of highly caffeinated beverages or alcohol can significantly interfere with the body's ability to effectively retain and utilize critical calcium. With caffeine, the primary issue is the total dosage and strategic timing. High daily amounts, often defined as more than 400 milligrams a day, are linked to reduced intestinal calcium absorption and increased calcium loss via the urine. This is equivalent to roughly 4 average cups of home-brewed coffee. Furthermore, if you drink coffee concurrently with a meal, the compounds in the coffee may bind with the minerals present in your food, further preventing their timely absorption. Alcohol presents a more severe, complex risk. Chronic heavy alcohol use is unequivocally detrimental to bone health. It actively interferes with the production of vitamin D, which is the crucial vehicle that ensures calcium transport. Alcohol also disrupts the delicate hormonal balance that regulates calcium absorption, potentially leading to poorer bone density over the long term. Beyond mineral loss, excessive alcohol consumption sharply increases the risk of debilitating falls, which are devastating when bones are already fragile. However, since our focus is practical nutrition, the excellent news here is that asterisk moderation and smart timing time asterisk are the complete solution. We are not requiring you to eliminate your favorite morning ritual, but merely to manage the volume and strategically time your consumption. If your favorite nightcap is interfering with deep bone repair, what simple dessert swap can pull double duty as a powerful mineral supplement? The swap for Bone Blocker 5, Smart Timing and Magnesium Boosts. Instead of cutting out caffeine entirely, try delaying your first cup until after you have consumed a calcium and magnesium-rich breakfast. This ensures your body has absorbed the bulk of your morning minerals before the diuretic effect of the coffee fully kicks in. If you crave a second or third cup, try switching it out for a naturally decaffeinated alternative, or one of those soothing herbal teas we recommended earlier. When approaching alcohol, moderation means limiting intake to no more than 1 standard drink per day for women or 2 for men, ideally consumed with food and not as a frequent nightly habit. The occasional glass of red wine, which offers beneficial antioxidants, is perfectly fine and can be enjoyed without guilt. For a perfect evening swap that replaces the desire for a late-night drink or a high-sugar treat, focus intently on magnesium. Magnesium is frequently dubbed the calcium conductor because it is required to convert dietary vitamin D into its active form and regulate the precise transport of calcium throughout the body. Our recommended nighttime swap is a small square of high-quality dark chocolate, specifically 70% cocoa or higher, or a warm cup of cocoa made with fortified milk. Dark chocolate is surprisingly dense in magnesium and contains powerful antioxidants. This gives you a comforting, satisfying treat that actively supports your bones and aids in necessary relaxation. Let's quickly recap the 5 major swaps we have established. We swap asterisk dime excess sugar time asterisk for asterisk dime prunes and berries, asterisk dimes. We swap asterisk salty processed foods, asterisk for asterisk potassium and herbs, asterisk dines. We swap asterisk dark sodas, asterisk for asterisk green tea, and infused water, asterisk 20 mines. We swap asterisk the wrong fats, asterisk for asterisk omega-3, rich fish, and olive oil, asterisk, and we swap asterisk excess caffeine and alcohol, asterisk for asterisk smart timing and magnesium, asterisk Dimex. We have laid out the 5 nutritional pitfalls and the 5 corrective solutions. But before we finish, we must address the critical practical issues that many adults 55 and over commonly face. We need to address these common concerns head-on to ensure this knowledge is fully actionable. One of the most frequent questions we receive concerns dairy. Many adults naturally develop lactose sensitivity or choose to avoid traditional milk and yogurt as they age. If you are avoiding dairy, where exactly should you focus your daily calcium efforts? Focus intently on fortified foods and the dark leafy greens. 1 single cup of cooked collard greens contains almost as much bioavailable calcium as a cup of milk, plus it delivers essential vitamin K. Look for specifically calcium-fortified plant milks, such as soy or almond milk. Always remember to shake these cartons vigorously, as the added calcium mineral often settles thickly at the bottom. And do not forget that sardines consumed with the bones are one of the most naturally concentrated sources of highly absorbable calcium available anywhere. It is absolutely achievable to meet your nutritional needs without relying on traditional dairy. Another major concern is vitamin D. While we have focused heavily on food, vitamin D is unique because our primary, most potent source is sunlight. As we age, our skin becomes inherently less efficient at synthesizing vitamin D from sun exposure. Furthermore, during dark winter months, or for those with reduced outdoor mobility, food sources alone are often woefully insufficient. While safe sun exposure remains ideal, many respected bone health experts recommend that seniors discuss a specific vitamin D supplement with their physician. Do not guess your dosage. A simple blood test can precisely determine your clinical needs. Remember this powerful metaphor. Vitamin D is the specialized vehicle that drives the calcium cargo directly to your bones. Without it, even perfect calcium intake is largely wasted. What about interference from common medications? Many medications commonly prescribed for blood pressure management, thyroid conditions, or arthritis can interfere with nutrient absorption or calcium retention. For instance, prolonged use of certain steroids can significantly accelerate bone loss. This is absolutely not a reason to suddenly stop taking your medication, but it is a powerful, urgent reason to double down on your nutrition. If you know your prescription medication poses a bone risk factor, you must become meticulous about incorporating the 5 swaps we outlined today. Use the anti-inflammatory foods, the omega-3s, and the colorful berries to help counteract the joint stress or mineral depletion caused by necessary drug therapy. We must also briefly emphasize protein. Protein is not a bone blocker, but many older adults consistently fail to consume enough high-quality protein. Bones are built upon a flexible matrix of collagen, a protein upon which hard minerals are deposited. If you do not consume sufficient protein, you risk accelerated muscle mass loss and times you actively deprive your bones of their vital structural building material. Ensure that the white portion of your plate, the chicken, the fish, the beans, or the yogurt, is a substantial protein-rich source at every single meal. Adequate protein intake is directly linked to better physical recovery and significantly reduced fracture risk following a fall. How can you weave all of these comprehensive changes into a busy, sometimes challenging life without feeling utterly overwhelmed? We advocate strongly for small, stacking habits that build success slowly and surely. First, audit your fridge and pantry. Spend just 10 disciplined minutes checking your kitchen for the 5 primary bone blockers. If you find a dark soda, move it out of sight. If you notice excessive high-sodium canned soups, make a firm plan to use them up and replace them with low-sodium alternatives or homemade broth on your next shopping trip. You do not have to discard anything, but immediate awareness is always the essential first step toward sustainable change. Second, NIMS commit to only 1 swap per week. Do not attempt to revolutionize your diet tomorrow. This week, your only commitment is to replace 1 high-sugar afternoon snack with a prune and walnut mix. Next week, your commitment is to use fresh herbs and lemon instead of salt in just 1 home-cooked meal. Small, consistent, manageable changes are the bedrock of lasting, successful habits. Third, no spees, just bows, no spees, no spees, no spee, nost, masterus, nost, no spees, nost, no spees, nost. When you prepare any meal, actively look for the anti-inflammatory power of vibrant color, dark leafy greens, bright red berries, golden sweet potatoes, yellow bell peppers. These vibrant hues signify the profound presence of potent antioxidants, vitamin C, absolutely essential for collagen formation, and valuable vitamin K. The more diverse color you build onto your plate, the more internal protection you are building for your joints and bones. You have now gained mastery over recognizing the foods that subtly hinder your bone and joint strength, and you have learned the simple, incredibly delicious swaps that build genuine vitality from the inside out. Your body is biologically ready and fully willing to rebuild and strengthen itself, but it requires the right, consistent nutritional materials. This journey is not about chasing some fleeting miracle cure or consuming expensive, unnecessary supplements. It is about implementing consistent, reliable, evidence-based nutrition that is accessible, affordable, and deeply sustainable. We firmly believe that every single adult deserves to live their life with robust movement, flexibility, and complete independence. You now possess the specialized knowledge to make powerful, informed choices that actively protect your future steps, maintain your precious mobility, and secure your long-term strength. If this comprehensive guide has helped you rethink your pantry and your plate, please hit the like button and share this video with a friend, family member, or caregiver who could greatly benefit from this critical information. Thank you for investing this valuable hour with Silver Smile & Bites. Start implementing one small, strategic swap today, and take a moment to truly appreciate how much practical power you hold over your own vitality.